Hello everyone, this is Tormuse, and today I'm picking up the Planet Crafter again. Um, I'm not streaming it this time, I'm pre-recording it because I expect this to be a short video. I just want to show off what I've been up to. This ridiculous game here, Tormuse 2, with one peta terraformation index. Because I did something ridiculous. After my first playthrough of the game, I got the ridiculous idea of, you know how you're trying to build up heat, air pressure, oxygen, and biomass, those four things. Well, what if I thought what happens if you just build up oxygen and nothing else? um, so that's what I did. Um, the It was an interesting game. It was an interesting challenge. I'll show the world as soon as it loads. Whenever it gets around to it. It is loading, right? There it goes. Okay. Took an alarmingly long time for the loading sign to pop up on the screen there. Yeah. Some people asked to see the world as I. Oh wow, it's okay. But yeah, see. There's, as you can see, heat 0, pressure 0, biomass of plants, insects, animals all 0, oxygen at 1 million parts per million and climbing. It's the atmosphere is actually over 100% oxygen somehow, without having an air pressure. Obviously, this is a result of me not playing the game as intended. But yeah, if you look in the blueprints, I have not unlocked a single blueprint under the heat tree or the air pressure tree. It's all oxygen and just regular terraformation. Interestingly, even if you don't build up the other stuff, like the planet continues on its merry way terraforming. As you can see, I'm in the desert here in front of that ship there. That wreck. Yeah, I just want somewhere where there's some open space. That entire big long thing there is full of lockers. I can show you. Uh, Maybe not the most ergonomically sound place, but yeah, every single one of these lockers is labeled with what's in it. There's a lot of a lot of sulfur for reasons I'll get into in a moment. But there's yeah, okay. Yeah, because I'm trying to limit myself to just oxygen production. That limits me to T3 vegetubes plus seed spreader rockets. And that's about it for oxygen production. And there are a lot of bigger oxygen producers like the algae or tree spreaders, grass spreaders. The thing is, grass spreaders, tree spreaders, they also produce plant biomass, so I couldn't use them, not for the purpose of this challenge. So yeah, this is kind of an inefficient way of generating oxygen. This provides 2.5 parts per quadrillion per second, so I got a bunch of those. But yeah, it's only 6.5 parts per quadrillion per second. Helped along by the satellites. I have 1,363 seed spreader rockets. It's a ridiculous network of them flying over the planet there. The rest of the satellites are just GPS satellites there. I have 2,551 T2 solar panels because I can't get power plants because those are under the nuclear fission power plants are under the digging tree, or the diggers, the pressure tree, and the the nuclear fusion power plant is locked behind the heat tech tree. So it's solar panels all the way. And I have, let's see, how many? 3,148 T3 vegetubes, 211 machine optimizers. They're the T1 machine operators, mind you, because the T2 optimizers are locked behind the heat tech tree. I had to do some a lot of creative stuff to get around the limitations of not having access to the stuff. Like I didn't have access to ore extractors, so there was a lot of collecting debris from falling meteorites to get resources. There was a lot of breaking stuff down in. Wow, this is the animation is stuttering. So I mean, it's stuttering so much because there's a lot of stuff here. This is here's my row of T3 vegetubes and optimizers. They go for a while. Well, the optimizers go up to this point, and then the T3 vegetubes continue and until here. There are more lines like this around the planet. There a lot of these vegetubes and a lot of solar panels are kind of just scattered all over the place because I took full advantage of the decentralization aspect of the game to just if I happen to have the resources on me, I just plunk down a T3 vegetube or plunk down a T2 solar panel wherever. I started making a row of these here, but then I decided to do a proper row. Oh yeah, and got my autocrafter here. The autocrafter, there were a lot of things I couldn't build until I got the autocrafter because I can't get biospheres because those produce biomass as well. Um, it's just on the beam. Yes, the recycler was essential for a lot of things. It just so happens that T2 solar panels require one of each resource except titanium plus 2 cobalt. And breaking down the super alloy gives you one of everything. So I just one super alloy plus 1 cobalt. Break down the super alloy. I get a T2 solar panel with titanium byproduct. So I took full advantage of that. Sorry, it's a little disorganized here. I wasn't sure what order to reveal things in. I put the regular lockers here full of the various resources because just so I have something quick on hand for the auto crafter to grab, because I can fit more of the regular lockers side by side like this than the hammer space ones. There's a ton of super alloy rods. And a ton of super alloy. A lot of that is collected from meteorite showers because this required a lot of waiting around until I got the seed spreader rockets. I was completely reliant on the T3 vegetubes, which don't produce a lot of oxygen. So there was a lot of waiting around. So I just hang around here. I sort of treated it like a Tamagotchi. I had it on the game on my second monitor, so I could do other things and periodically just had him eat or drink. Because it took a long time before the seed spreader rockets came along, and then once I got those, everything accelerated. The tricky thing with getting seed spreader rockets is it requires tree bark. But yeah, no biospheres. So I can't get. I think it's biospheres, right? It gets the tree bark. I can't remember which one is which. Shelter. Anyway, and I was helped along greatly. Oh yeah, by the way, even though I wasn't able to get the communication antenna because locked behind the pressure tree. I still got the blueprint for the merchant rocket, which I thought was interesting. It just you get a notification, message received, new blueprint available, regardless of whether you actually have access to it. So there's I was prepared to have to do without this, but anyway, yeah, the Rosea tree seeds proved to be remarkably essential. Because they break down to tree bark and T4 mutagen. The T4 mutagen breaks down to regular mutagen and T3 mutagen. The T3 mutagen breaks down to bacteria sample, and among other things. So you get that's three of the ingredients. Like each rosary tree seed provides three of the ingredients for seed spreaders because there's your bacteria sample, mutagen, and tree bark. So that was very convenient. I almost wonder if that was done deliberately. uh, what was it? Oh yeah, this is my my chocolate cookie operation. Um, Crafting flour, chocolate, and cookies, and the cookies themselves are being brought in here because that was it's kind of superfluous because I get Terra tokens much faster from just going through the portal and doing the procedural generated Rex, but I reasoned out that there are theoretically limited resources available on the planet. Like I completely scour the entire planet for uranium and iridium. It's there. You won't find any iridium or uranium on the entire planet, because those are the ingredients needed for the seed spreader rockets. um, and so it was like, well, what can I wanted to try getting an operation where I could sell stuff, but the only thing that's actually truly renewable is the chocolate cookies. I mean, like all this other stuff, yeah, it's just limited on the planet. Um, Nevertheless, I still got have an abundance of pulsar quartz. Some of that's from meteorites, some of it's from gathering from the procedural Rex, which is also essential because they break down into iridium and uranium, among other things. That's been my supply of uranium for more rockets. Um, like I said, the recycler is essential for this whole challenge. Um, yeah, obviously, getting it up to 100% oxygen was way overkill. Like, yeah, Pita Terraformation Index. I had to look that up. What the P stands for, the capital P, not to be confused with the lowercase p, which is pico, which is trillionths, I think. This is hold on. Okay, so kilo is 1,000, mega is million, giga is billion, tera is trillion, peta is quadrillion. So this is, yeah, yeah, it's a quadrillion parts per quadrillion. Excuse me. Yeah, and the rate per second is close to 1.5 million per second. So every 2 seconds, I'm getting about 3 parts per million, roughly speaking. So that's cool. Have limited amounts of furnishings. I can't make fabric because I don't have access to silkworms. So that's the fabric that I happen to find. This is where a majority of my potted plants are. Each one of these provides 2.5 parts per quadrillion, but that's multiplied by 1,000 whatever from the seed spreader rockets. So they're still providing a significant amount of oxygen, and they also function when there's no power. I mean, I'm careful to keep this thing powered anyway, but what else? Let's just conga line. I'll just show some other stuff they worked on. This is my the other row. Well, one of the other rows of T3 vegetubes. And this goes on for a while. Just for no particular reason, I just put them all in a straight line here. These are all Pestera seeds and greater. For a while, I wasn't even putting Pestera seeds. I was trying to limit myself to the higher ones, but yeah, these are all like 200% oxygen output or greater. These go on for a while. This challenge has been very grindy, as I'm sure you can imagine. And I also have an additional conga line of solar panels here. Um, how far does this go? I think this just goes to the Sandfall caves here, and then that's it. Hmm. Yeah, there you go. Rema and Volnus. Good collections of stuff there. Um, and sorry, I've got a bit of a cough. It's been there for the last 4 weeks, just won't go away. It's annoying. Um, yeah, what else? What else can I say about this? I'll show the other Congo line, though, the solar panels in a second, but I just need to get back over here to go to the other teleporter. um, yeah, I'm poised to leave, but like, I can just win the game at any time. I mean, if I've been in a state of being able to win the game for a while. I just wanted to challenge myself to see if I could get it above 100% for no particular reason. Just, I don't know, just see if I could. Like, the planet continues to terraform and life develops, even though it says zero biomass. That biomass, it only counts the stuff that you create within your structure. It doesn't count the stuff that naturally grows anyway. But yeah, I just wanted to show solar panels. Yeah, these are full of the titanium byproduct. I'll show that properly in a moment. And I have a row of solar panels. This goes all the way to the. This is the outer border of the map. Actually, oh yeah, you can see the solar panels on the map. Can I just? Okay, why are these ones showing up? But oh, right. I remember now. Okay, yeah. No, so this is the shoot. This was the new row that I was just starting. Right. Um, wait, where can I go to show the? I guess maybe it's visible from the map actually. If I zoom in enough. Here it is. I have a row of solar panels that goes the entire from north to south of the map. Um, yeah, power's at a bit of a premium. Like these power plants, sorry, the teleporters take 358 power, and the solar panels provide 19 each. So it takes 18 of these guys just to power one of these. So I try to limit the number of teleporters I have. But well, I can show you some things. Like if I go back this way, I can show you the starting location because this is a proper hardcore run. So it's hop. There you go. Get that jetpack going. Yeah. Another row of T3 vegetubes there. That one's shorter. Yeah, there are like vegetubes and solar panels all over the place. these wind turbines puttering along, providing teensy amounts of power. They've just been there since the beginning of the game. Like, I mean, teensy in comparison to total output of the planet. But yeah, yeah. There are fewer there are fewer teleporters than I might like because of the power demands. I disassemble teleporters and rebuild them elsewhere. But yeah, for no particular reason, I made a ring of solar panels that goes all the way around the crater's edge. Goes along here, all the way around, just for fun. Let's see, what else can I show? Oh, I know. Um, but yeah, and there are little houses along the way, like these full of lockers that are this is all titanium. This is all byproduct of um, breaking down super alloys to make these. There's another row of solar panels here, and this is neat. The excuse me, that's the waterfall. This big rock here, that's normally a huge waterfall. It's activated by heat. It's still frozen. Even though everything is lush and green, waterfall is not active. This is my row of solar panels, by the way. That big long row that goes along the whole north to south dimension of the map. It goes right to the ocean's edge. I guess I can go show that, but yeah, there's like all of the ice barriers. The Well, not all of them. So, some of the ice barriers are melted by heat, and some are melted by terraformation index. Yeah, and the solar panels. There are interruptions in the path of the solar panels along the way because couldn't they don't function underwater. But these continue for a while. Um, yeah, uh, it says something about my I guess dedication or maybe psychosis that I that I grinded this much. That just kept these things going. Um, while I'm in the neighborhood, I can show that life still develops, even though it says zero biomass. Um, where are they? Somewhere around here along the ocean's edge. Here they are. Hello. I can pet them. Must pet. Must pet the animals. Aw. Yeah, and I get genetic traits from them by doing that, which I already have an overabundance of, and I can't do anything with them, so I'm gonna stop petting them for now. But yeah, what else can I say about this? Keeps stuttering there. Um, yeah, this was a big grind. It took a very long time to get it. Like it's just looking back, I sort of go like I don't even know why I did this. It was sort of on a whim. I was like, what if I build up only oxygen? What would happen then? Um, because it turns out like the terraformation index is it's a totally linear scale. Um, it's just a one ratio of everything of uh, 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 like as far as the terraforming of the planet is concerned, uh, whether you get points of heat or points of air pressure or points of oxygen or points of biomass, they all count the same as far as the game is concerned. It's a very simplified calculation that it does. It just adds the numbers together, and that's your terraformation index. um, yeah, I it would be. I mean, I know it's a bit of a tall ask. I think it would be neat if the dev team made it so that those numbers are more analogous to like real world like Earth numbers. Like on Earth, our atmosphere is like 20% oxygen, um, but in this game, the little bees. Yeah, the solar panel, the solar panel road gets interrupted by the wreck here, and then it gets interrupted by some rocks, but it continues on. Like if you go around this, it'll continues on in roughly the same line. Is that it there? It's not a perfectly straight line. Even at the best of times, if I'm honest. Where is it? There's some more there. On the other side of the rock, it continues there. And on the other side of this rock, it continues here. And I wanted to head north so I can show the ice caps here. The ice caps never melted, which is funny, even though there's lush greenery all around them. Like there's a tree. It's encased in ice over there. Anyway, as I was saying, oh yeah, and there are little life forms. You precious little life forms. If anyone remembers that reference. Pet. Must pet all the animals. Pet. Cute. Anyway. But yeah, like I was saying, like the by the end of the game, oxygen is still measured in parts per million. Like that's not breathable. And the air pressure is measured in pascals, not whereas on Earth it's kilopascals. You know, like thousands of pascals. Whereas this is just individual pascals. Like, I'm reliably informed. There's another one of these? Whoa, wait, really? That makes 12, I think. Because I found another one of these. Oh, that's fascinating. I found another one of these like in my original run. I found 10 of them, and then when I was playing this, scouring the planet for everything, I found an 11th one that I hadn't found before. I didn't know this was here. How many times have I passed through here? I probably thought it was one that I'd already seen and didn't bother looking at it. Okay, so yeah, interesting. There are 12 warden keys. You only need 10 of them, but yeah. But yeah, there's trees encased in ice here because these things never melt. They start melting at 5 microkelvins. I'm presuming that's what that acronym is. I don't know what else the K could stand for. It doesn't really make it. It doesn't really make much sense. Like, are you really increasing the temperature of the planet by a fraction of 1 degree? That doesn't make sense. I mean, yes, like fractions of degrees of a change can cause sweeping changes, in terms of like climate change or whatever. But like, talking about melting ice caps, those numbers don't seem like they'd add up. I don't know. I'm no expert in the issue, but like I said, like the game is still fun. You know, it's still perfectly serviceable and stuff. I kind of think it would be neat if it was maybe someone can mod it to do this. I don't know if the final numbers were more analogous to what it's like on Earth. Like yeah, sorry. I as I started to say, then I interrupted myself. Yeah, if the air pressure is measured in pascals, then the lakes and oceans would just boil away. Like, the oceans on Earth, they're held in place partly by air pressure. Like, water is evaporating all the time. I mean, you got clouds. Like water evaporates and into water vapor and turns into clouds, and that whole process is kept in check by having an atmosphere and having air pressure. If the air pressure is really measured in pascals, not kilopascals, the lakes would all just boil away. There'd be nothing but clouds. Yeah, let's eat a bean. Yeah. Yeah, I don't know. I just it's just something that I've been thinking about. It's like, it would be neat if, like, instead of having this linear scale where it can just keep climbing and climbing, even above 100% oxygen, and it continues climbing and everything's still fine. Um, it would be neat if the oxygen level has a goal of 20%, and when it reaches that goal, it just stops and no more oxygen goes into the system. And or you know, like with the temperature from the heat, like maybe your goal is to bring the temperature up by a certain number of degrees, um, degrees, not micro degrees, you know. Or if the air pressure had a goal of going up to kilopascals, you know, like it would have to, it would take a lot of reworking of the numbers, but it would be neat if it goes up to those numbers and then stops, and then says, aha, that's you're all oxygened up, no more oxygen is needed to add, and now work on the other goals, and you know, you know what I mean, like it would make things make more sense if you did have to actually bring up all four of those categories: oxygen, air pressure, heat, and biomass. The fact that you're able to win the game with oxygen alone is a little silly. um, yeah. Um, yeah. The fact that I did this was silly. Like I just at first I just wanted to see if I could do it, and then after I got to you know, 5 terraformation index, the normal, you know, the normal goal for the game. Um, sorry, you know, terraformation index. I was like, I want to see if I can get up to 100%, because it was, because by that point I was like getting tons of seed spreader rockets, and it was accelerating, and it's a positive feedback loop. I mean, because they are, the satellites are multipliers, so the more satellites I put up, the more each individual T3 vegetube puts out. In terms of its oxygen output, they multiply against each other. So each T3 vegetube I put down makes the satellites produce more oxygen. Each satellite I put down makes the T3 vegetubes produce more oxygen. Oh yeah, there's a handful of trophies there, but most of the trophies are like, I mean, I don't know. I could have built another room to store extra stuff, but yeah, extra trophies. These ones that I found in the uh, 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 in the various procedurally generated wrecks on the other side of the portal. Just throw that in there. What else can I say about this? You just toss these in there and yeah, what else can I say about this? There was other stuff I wanted to say about it. Yeah, like a lot of stuff I didn't have access to. Yeah, like T2 vegetubes didn't have access to. Didn't have access to beacons, which is a little troublesome. I mean, I've figured out my way around the planet by now, so I was able to get around, so it's fine. Yeah, no power plants, no T2 machine optimizer. I was a nuisance. No communication antenna. I couldn't unlock all the lore. Yeah, I didn't have access to the progress screen, so I didn't know what terraformation stage I was at any given time. Yeah, all the drills are locked with power plants. Yeah, the gas extractor, I didn't have access to that either, but I was able to break things down for the content that I needed. Yeah, there was a stretch of time, because the rocket engines, which I needed for the sea spreader rockets, do require iridium rods, and there was a time when I was like, you know, entire like hammer space lockers full of iridium rods, because I'd taken them from the various wrecks and so on. Like I had so many of them that I was like, Okay, I'm gonna stop taking these out of the Rex because I don't need them anymore. I already have ridiculous quantities of them. But I burned through all of them. I needed every single one. I got to a point where I was breaking down flares and explosive devices for the explosive powder, which then breaks down into iridium, among the other ingredients. Byproducts of that are two sulfurs for each explosive powder. So there was a huge abundance of sulfur. Plus, sulfur is one of the ingredients in the T3 mutagens. So there was another byproduct. Like I was overflowing with sulfur, like ridiculous quantities of sulfur from breaking all these things down to get the items that I needed because again I completely scoured the entire planet of its resources. So I had to get creative in how to get some things like yeah, like figuring out that pulsar quartz has uranium and doing this thing again. Yeah, uranium and iridium. That was a significant find. The fusion energy cells require obsidian. So, and without the ability to get ore extractors, there's a limited amount of obsidian in the world. But, and then I realized, solar quartz has obsidian in it. I did actually mine out all of the obsidian in the planet, and I got to the point where I've been breaking down solar quartz to force the obsidian content. Byproduct also has sulfur. um, yeah, lots of sulfur. Um, yeah, the fertilizer the only use for fertilizer is because I can't get anything with biomass is for use for making flower pots. So I did a lot of breaking down T2 fertilizer into regular fertilizer so I can make flower pots. Um, yeah, what else? Hmm. Yeah. Yeah. What else is there to say about this? It was a very silly challenge run. I just wanted to see if I could like it was yeah it was a challenge figuring out how to work around the limitations. But besides that, it was just a whole lot of waiting. Like once I had like yeah once you have like a stable source of food, you can just sit back and just wait around for the numbers to go up. That's the nature of the game. It's like it's a waiting for the numbers to go up game. Plus, look for ways to uh, uh, um, uh, 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 um, look for ways to accelerate it. But there is a fair bit of way. I mean, the game is balanced well enough that a normal game there's enough to do while you're waiting that it's not an issue. For this challenge, though, I ran out of things to do while I was waiting. It was just a matter of just letting it sit there and wait. Because because there was a specific point, I think it was around, I think it was between 650 megaterraformation index and 8 gigaterraformation index. I looked this up in the wiki. There was I generally try to avoid looking at wikis when I'm playing games, but this is what I wanted to make sure I was doing things efficiently, as efficiently as I could in the circumstances. But yeah, there is a specific window when crates contain tree bark, because the crates, the contents of the crates is variable. You don't know it's the game decides what's in them when you open them. Depending on the terraformation stage, you might get different stuff. And there's a specific window when there's tree bark. Um, so like before I had access to the portal, which took a long time to get to, uh, and therefore before I had access to the rosy tree seeds, um, I was dependent on finding tree bark in crates. So I deliberately held off opening a bunch of the crates until that stage, and then I went on a crate opening rampage and trying to find as much tree bark as I could, or tree seeds that break down into tree bark, because not all of them do. The I believe the Itera tree seeds, I've got some of them here. These don't break down to tree bark, sadly. They just and the Ribeiro tree seeds, I can't break them down. So sad. O2 plants, Pestera. I mean, this is one of the Pestera lockers. There's a whole bunch more. There are a whole bunch of Lerma lockers and Shango lockers up there as well. Lockers for everything. What are they saying? Yeah. Yeah, because the for this challenge, the seed spreader rockets were a game changer. Like suddenly, like after the oxygen rate was going so slowly for so long, getting the first seed spreader rocket it accelerates to 10 times that speed, and then 20 times for the or after the second rocket. Like it's just yeah, it was a game changer for this. So yeah, I needed to get as many rockets as I could. Yeah, what else is there to say? There's still some things to mention, I'm sure. Oh yeah, because the oxygen tank, the T2 oxygen tank is locked behind the pressure tree, and the T2 exoskeleton is locked behind the heat tree. But luckily, the wreck under the well, it's not a wreck. There's some crates in the under the big waterfall, or the would-be big waterfall. Those have T2 oxygen tanks and T2 exoskeletons in them. If not for that, I would not have been able to upgrade my my oxygen tank, because yeah, because the T2 oxygen tank requires a T3 oxygen tank. Sorry, other way around. T3 requires a T2, and then the T4 requires a T3, and so on. And it seems that the exoskeletons, like, I can make the T1 exoskeleton, or the T3 and T4, but not the T2. Like, the T2 is missing from the lineup here. Same with the oxygen tanks. Got the T1 and T3. T2 is missing. Yeah, if not for that, the T2 stuff in that particular cave, I would be stuck with the T1 oxygen tank. That would be brutal. But yeah, I have considered doing another run, or maybe 2 runs, maybe for like heat pure. This is the oxygen purist run. What if I do a heat purist run, or an air pressure purist run? Now, obviously, because the oxygen tree has the food grower. If you do a true pure heat run, you won't be able to get food. You won't be able to produce your own food. So you could do it like a soft heat purist, maybe, where you like allow yourself to get up to 12 parts per trillion to get the food grower, and then do heat purist after that. I think it might be more interesting to do an actual true heat purist, or pressure purist, because then it's a kind of like death is inevitable. How long can you survive? That kind of game is probably not winnable, but it would be an interesting challenge to see if we could get at least to blue sky. You might be able to do it just by subsisting on the food you find in various wrecks. Especially since the circuit boards Um, circuit boards break down into bioplastic nuggets, and bioplastic nuggets break down into mushrooms. So circuit boards, funnily enough, would act as a source of food, a significant source of food. That's like 2 mushrooms per circuit board. That's 70 nutrition. So that's neat. Oh yeah, and the fertilizer that breaks down to squash, that one breaks down into eggplants. Again, you can be creative. You can stretch that food out a while. I think it might be doable to do a heat purist or pressure purist where where you can at least get to blue sky. I think it might be doable. I don't know. Maybe I'll do that. Maybe I'll do a proper stream of that. Um, but it would be brutal. Like this game, at least I had access to T3 Vegetubes. Um, if you do a heat purist, you're limited to T1 heaters because all the other heaters, all of them are behind the oxygen tree. There's a T2 heater, there's a T3 heater, there's a T4 heater. They're all behind the oxygen tree. So if you're doing a heat purist, yeah, you would be stuck with T1 heaters, which produce a measly, what is it? Yeah, 0.15, whatever that is per second. Is it picokelvin, something like that? Tiny, very tiny. Like, yeah, it's yeah, very very tiny amount. You'd have to get a lot of them to get any significant heat out, and it'd be an interesting, like I said, it'd be an interesting challenge. You also you got the T1 drills if you're doing a pressure purist. You at least have access to T2 drills, but I was thinking, okay, the pressure purist might be a little more doable because at least you have T2 drills. But then I realized the T2 drills put off a teeny amount of heat, so you can't use those drills. Darn it! You would be limited to the T1 drills for that particular challenge. I mean, I might try it. It's only 0.1 per second. That's less than the heater. Oof. But yeah, the heat one, you could, if you survive long enough, you could get fireplaces which put off 7.5 per second. But I believe these blueprints for the fireplace are in the procedure generated rec, so you'd have to get well into late game before you're able to get these. I don't know. Like, maybe if you can survive long enough to get to, where is it? Where is it? That's the vehicle station. There it is. Launch platform. Okay, launch platform is. It's not exactly early, but it's early enough. Like, if you can survive long enough to get to the launch platforms, and you can get heat or pressure producing satellites, you get that to take off. Yeah, I don't know. It could be an interesting challenge. It's like I said, maybe I will stream that if there's, like, I don't know, demand for it, or if I just feel like it, one or the other. Because yeah, just from the gathering from the wrecks around the planet, I know my way around the planet pretty well by this point. Could probably survive a decent amount of time. Yeah, and the pressure purist could be fun just for the fact that you can just wander around the planet and just plunk down drills everywhere there's a piece of iron, It yeah, could be interesting. Like I said, it would be a very death is inevitable kind of game, but might be interesting. Yeah, looking yeah, like pressure purist. Okay, at least you get the oxygen tank early, so that's cool. Can't use that. Can't use that. I mean, I'm just thinking about which things from here. Okay, like the nuclear plant, the nuclear reactor is like the only thing that's useful It's actually useful. Like the rest of these are like the transmission screen, the communication antenna. Like they don't actually help you in that challenge. The ore extractor could be really helpful if you were able to survive that long. But most of this, yeah, I won't be able to do much with it. The heat tree, at least you get the beacon, I guess. Drill, biodome, sign. Yeah, none of these really help you. Like if you get to the end of the heat tree, you can get the T2 machine optimizer. Be a hell of a lot better than these gosh darn T1 optimizers that I've got here. Each of one of these has an oxygen multiplier fuse in it, by the way. I ordered those from the rocket, from the merchant rocket. Yeah. Instantly, there were 12 of these. Were there 12? Hold on. It's 8 plus 5. So there's 13 of these. Oh, okay. Okay, I miscounted. There are 13 of these. Interesting. I thought there were only 10. Huh. Anyway. Yeah, could be interesting. Could be these things. My drone's still gathering the. These things bug out sometimes, and I noticed that whole process breaks down. Oh well. Yeah, I'm trying. I feel like there's more I want to say, but I'm drawing a blank. I just want to get it all out in one video. Yeah, I know my base probably isn't the most aesthetically pleasing or whatever. That's not really my forte, I guess. Yeah, portal's there. I made lots of trips into the portal, trying to get as many terror tokens as I could to, and also to, collecting flares, because flares are really common. Flares, like, oh yeah, that's the thing. If in that heat purist or pressure purist game, if you're somehow able to survive long enough to get to the part where there are portals, then you can win, because flares are very common in those procedurally generated wrecks, and flares break down into bioplastic nuggets, which break down into mushrooms. So there's an unlimited supply of food if you can get to that stage. That's like, it's something like 250 gigaterraformation it is, I think, something like that, to get to that stage. So getting 250 billion just from these guys, they're putting out 0.15 per second, or 0.1 per second. Yeah, like even aided by the rockets. Yeah. Incidentally, I'm aware that like the heat rockets and the pressure rockets give you an extra uranium or iridium as a byproduct. In the form of asteroids. Like, I could have used those to get more uranium or iridium, but it didn't feel like keeping in the spirit of the challenge of keeping it to oxygen. So I didn't bother getting any of those. Yeah, I got all my. Basically got all, after scouring the whole planet. I basically got all of my uranium from breaking down pulsar quartz, and all my iridium from breaking down anything that had iridium in it. Yeah. Yeah, I'm not sure what else to say about this. Yeah, I mean that's been the this took. Oh right, I know what I wanted to shoot. I forgot while I was over there. What's this? Oh, was there a pulsar quartz meteorite that fell when I wasn't looking? I guess. these things despawn in between sessions, I've noticed. So that must have happened. I, I mean, there was a meteorite shower earlier, and I was just blathering on, so I was just kind of ignoring it, because I wanted to keep talking. Um, yeah, I wasn't paying attention, but yeah, I guess that fell when I wasn't looking. Um, but yeah, I just wanted to show that yes, this is indeed the proper hardcore start with my starting location in the in by the crater. Um, yeah, because playing this outside of hardcore mode where death just means you respawn. Um, like it feels like it would be less of a challenge. I mean, it outside of hardcore mode, this would be an easy challenge. I mean, you just put it aside and then forget about it. Like you don't, like if you die, who cares? You respawn anyway, so whatever. But doing it in hardcore mode means I actually really did have to keep, feeding and watering this guy. But here it is. That's my starting location right there. And proper hardcore mode. Proper hardcore mode start there. Yeah. Yeah. Hmm. So yeah. Um. Yes, this took a while. It took like working on it on and off for over the course of months. Like basically ever since my first the Planet Crafter run that I streamed, whenever that was. um, I just started on this right afterward. Um, I didn't stream it for obvious reasons. Because a lot of this run has just been waiting around. Um, but if I do a heat pierced or pressure pierced, I think I would like to stream it because that will at least be more active. Although it might be overly grindy. I don't know. Um, could be interesting anyway. You know, interesting to some people at least. And I went through the whole game without discovering that you can hold down control and click and it puts all of that one resource in. That's a very nice quality of life feature I found out from someone else who was streaming this. Um, yeah, and I guess I can... One more... I have one of the teleporters over in the lava zone. Oops, that's still loading the terrain in. Waiting for there we go, loading the terrain in. Yeah, there's another row of T3 vegetubes here. Those go for a while too. And you basically won't find any iridium or obsidian in this entire region here, because I scoured the whole place for it. So yeah, that's it. It's still sitting at 1 peta terraformation index. It's like even going up by 1.01 of that would take a while. Yeah, somehow it's over 100% oxygen. It's probably a good thing we can't get heaters actually, because you might ignite the atmosphere. This oxygen is very flammable. That'd be funny. Uh, I, I feel like it would be funny to just plunk down a single T4 heater, putting out 269 uh, per second of picokelvins. Um, like in 2 seconds, it would unlock the vegetube there, and then a few seconds after that, it would unlock this. Like you just see a string of them unlocking in quick succession. It'd be kind of funny. Well, it would amuse me anyway. um, Call me easily amused, I suppose. Yeah. Yeah. Oh, yeah. I couldn't put proper windows like the yeah, living compartment window. I couldn't put proper windows in, but the corner pieces like this have windows built into them, so I was able to get some windows there. I built this little observation deck up here just for fun, and I can go under the roof and then back down here. Yeah. And this is full of food and water. I basically I left the game. I would I would leave the game on the monitor there, and then just periodically reach over and click whichever whatever food or water you needed. Yeah, that was yeah. I got to say, one thing one regrettable side effect of this run is it feeds my anxiety. Like I'm already prone to anxiety, but like there's the anxiety in the back of my mind of like if I step away from the computer, like you know, make sure he has food and water before before I leave, before I step away. You know, don't want him to die and erase all my progress. Um, and like even now that I've finished with this and I've moved on to other things, I still have that nagging feeling at the back of my mind, like it'll suddenly hit me, like, oh no, I forgot to feed him. Oh wait, no, I finished this run now. I don't need to worry about that now. It's like, calm down, anxiety. Um, so yeah, it probably wasn't good for my existing anxiety disorder to to be doing this. But on the other hand, the anxiety disorder might have helped me because then I'm overly worried and anxious about it, making sure he has his food, making sure he has his water at all times. Like he even still has an oxygen capsule, even though like the it's a bunch of paranoia. I don't know, just on the off chance, I don't know, I find myself like underwater at the time and decide he needs the oxygen. It's very unlikely I would need that, but out of an abundance of paranoia, I keep it in his inventory anyway. You can have a seat. Yeah, that's the outfit I went with. Like the colors. Anyway, but yeah, I think that's all there is to say about this. Yeah, I just wanted to put out a little video showing off how neurotic I am. You know, that I actually went through the trouble of doing this and building this. I don't have my vehicle with me. I think the vehicle, I left it on the other side of the portal there, but it is very handy for, I mean, for in early game, it acts as a source of oxygen if once you could build the reoxygenator in it, and it's also very useful in the procedurally generated Rex. You can't build lockers, or you can't build anything over there. The game specifically restricts you from building it, so the rover is extremely useful as having a thing to store my stuff that I find in there. So I don't know, just randomly putting it out there. I don't even remember what wreck I was exploring. Apparently I wasn't done there. Um, left the portal open. I'm just rambling now. Trying to think of. Yeah, I knew that this was going to turn to a lake, so I was slightly worried about the positioning of my base, but fortunately it wasn't a problem. Nothing actually flooded. um, okay. I think I need to wrap this up. I feel like there's something I'm forgetting. Like I mentioned the auto crafter, like things like explosive powder and explosive devices. I wasn't able to build until I got the auto crafter. So there was a gap between getting the blueprint and actually being able to build them. Yeah, getting osmium was an issue for a bit because there was no because the the osmium caves which are normally unlocked when there's enough heat. I didn't have access to those, but breaking down the uh, 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 um, uh, uh, um, there's isn't much in there. Yeah. Osmium. Yeah. I got whole lockers full of it now because every time I break down the pulsar quartz, osmium is one of the byproducts of that. So I was like swimming in it before long. Yeah, same with like zeolite. Therma seeds, Jenga seeds. Super alloys. Just these are the ones at the end here. Ones I just started. Anyway. But yeah, that is my oxygen purist planet. This took a while to do, and it's in the category of why. Why did I do this? I don't even know why. But when you put this much work into something, it's worth showing off, I think. So I wanted to do that. So yeah. Yeah, I have to decide what to do next, I suppose. Um, Yeah. Well, I mean, I guess I'll post this in the Planet Crafter Discord and see if anyone has anything to say about it. Maybe it'll inspire me to try that Heat Purist or Pressure Purist. I'll think about it. There are also other games I wanted to get to, but yeah, this has been a ridiculous challenge mode that I imposed on myself. And it's done now. So that's all for now. Until next time.